Have you ever stopped to think about why are you the way you are? Why do you think the way you think? And why do you act the way you act? The truth is that your choices, behaviors, and habits are influenced by powerful external forces. Forces so subtle that most of us don't even realize their control on our lives. And this is what Darren talks about in chapter 5 of his book, revealing that everyone is affected by three kinds of influences: input, associations, and environment. So, in the next few minutes, we'll dive deep into these influences and uncover how they shape your life and how you can master them to take control of your future. Well, actually, you can't really take control of your future, but you can definitely nudge it towards a certain direction. Hi, I'm Nadeem, and in this channel, we review books related to personal growth and self improvement. And today is going to be the fifth part of the video series, reviewing the book The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. So, in the last videos, we have already talked about the first four chapters of this book, and in today's video, we'll talk about chapter 5, which is influences. So, let's begin by breaking down these three types of influences discussed by Darren, starting with input. What you feed your mind shapes your thoughts, beliefs, and ultimately your actions. Darren compares this to how your body performs. Just as consuming junk food affects your physical health, feeding your brain with negativity or useless information impacts your mental productivity. He uses an example saying that your mind is like an empty glass and you can pour both dirty as well as clean water into it. But the thing is that you can't create something good out of that dirty water. Whereas the clean water can be used for cooking, cleaning, drinking, and a lot of good things. And same is the case with your brain. If you fill it with negative, useless information and fear, then everything you try to create will first go through that mental clutter, that dirt in your brain. But if you fill it with positive, supportive, and inspirational ideas, you'll begin to see the world differently and make better choices. Now, the point is, how do you protect your input? It can be done by limiting your exposure to negativity, whether it is turning off the news, spending less time on social media, or avoiding those toxic conversations. Protect your mind from dirty water and replace it with books, podcasts, and people that inspire and educate you. Darren begins this topic by saying, birds of a feather flock together. The people with whom you habitually associate are called your reference group. According to the research by social psychologist Dr. David McClelland of Harvard, your reference group determines as much as 95% of your success or failure in life. Who do you spend the most time with? You have probably heard Jim Rohn's famous quote: you are the average of the five people you spend most time with. Your friends, family, and colleagues all influence your mindset, habits, and success. But not all associations are same, and Darren breaks them into three categories: dissociations, limited associations, and expanded associations. Dissociations. Sometimes the best choice is to cut ties with all toxic and negative people altogether. It may not be easy, but as Darren says, you can't live a positive life while being surrounded with negative influences. Limited associations. Some people are fine in small doses, like you might enjoy chatting with a colleague for a few minutes, but you wouldn't want to spend a few hours with them. Recognize who these people are and how much time you can spend with them, and limit their influence on your life. Expanded associations. Surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you to grow. Seek out mentors, high achievers, or supportive friends who embody the traits and success you aspire to achieve. So, identifying the people who hold you back, people who are kind of neutral, and people who push you forward is crucial in order to manage how you want to be influenced. Also, Darren shares some tips for building positive associations, like finding a peak performance partner, which means teaming up with someone who holds you accountable and shares your drive for success. Invest in mentorships, which means learn directly from those who have already achieved what you aspire to achieve. Develop your own personal board of advisors, which means carefully select the people you want to take advice from and take advice from those who have what you want. And remember, never ask advice of someone with whom you wouldn't want to trade places. Your environment plays a critical role in determining your outcomes. Darren shares a particular story about how spending time in affluent areas inspired him to dream bigger and work harder. He emphasizes that sometimes you need to change your environment to match your goals. He says the dream in your heart may be bigger than the environment in which you find yourself. Sometimes you have to get out of that environment to see that dream fulfilled. It's like planting an oak sapling in a pot. Once it becomes root bound, its growth is limited. It needs a great space to become a mighty oak, so do you. But your environment isn't just physical, it's everything that surrounds you. From the clutter in your home to the incomplete tasks weighing on your brain. All these factors drain your energy and momentum. You also provide some tips to build a supportive environment, like clear the clutter. Both the physical and the mental clutter can block your progress. Address the incomplete tasks and commitments to free up energy for what matters most. Set high standards. Darren says you get in life whatever you think you're worthy of. So raise your expectations for how people treat you and how you treat yourself. You are worthy of a life that supports your highest potential. So protect your mental, emotional, and physical space to create a life of peace and productivity. From the choices you make to the people you surround yourself with and the environment you create. The influences in your life determine your trajectory. By mastering these three forces, that is, input, associations, and environment, you can take control of your path to success. And in the next chapter, we'll dive into the secret to accelerating your results with just little efforts. So stay tuned. And whatever we cover in our videos is just the tip of the iceberg. There is still a lot of knowledge in the book, and I highly recommend you buying a copy of this amazing book for yourself through the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.